Thank you, Eric. I certainly want to commend the Attorney General and also James Hayes, who is the Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations, who couldn't be here today for their outstanding work and their staff's work on this very important case. I also want to thank our Century partners, the Maryland State Police, the Pennsylvania State Police, and New Jersey State Police for their participation here, and of course outstanding Commissioner of Intelligence David Cohn, and Commanding Officer Intelligence Division Chief Tom Galati, as well as the lead investigator Sean Foley, who's over there, and our Intelligence Research Specialist Samantha Lomelli. Now, the core mission of the NYPD's Intelligence Division, since it was reconstituted in 2002, has been to prevent another terrorist attack against New York City. So far, so good. We haven't been successfully attacked since 9/11, but it's not for lack of trying. The terrorists seem to want to come back here. We have defeated multiple plots against the city through a combination of efforts by our intelligence division, through joint efforts with our federal partners and intelligence agencies overseas, and sometimes we've just been lucky. This case started because we were being vigilant about terrorism. Through combined efforts of detectives and intelligence analysts, we discovered that individuals who were on our radar for links to known terrorists were engaged in a massive raid on the New York State Treasury in the form of cigarette tax avoidance. The association of some of the suspects in this case to Ari Halberstam's killer, to the blind sheikh, and to a top Hamas official concerned us greatly. Take, for example, Yosef O'Day. Earlier this year, he said he had sold 15,000 cartons of untaxed cigarettes worth about $780,000 to 3 customers alone. O'Day also had a business selling baby formula, and one of his investors was the blind sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman, who in the 90s had apparently provided O'Day with $10,000 so that he could invest it in his baby formula company. Of course, as we know, the blind sheikh has been convicted for his role in the plots against New York City landmarks in the 1990s. O'Day also had personal and financial ties to Ahmed Abdel Sattar, who served as spokesman for the blind sheikh during the 1995 landmarks trial, and who had conveyed the sheikh's message to his followers in Egypt and Afghanistan. Now, according to transcripts of his own trial, Sattar stated that he invested $10,000, as I say, for the blind sheikh in the baby formula business. In that trial, it was also alleged that Sattar used O'Day's phone to receive calls from a leader of an extremist Egyptian Islamic group to discuss what threats to make against the United States in the immediate aftermath of the attack against the USS Cole. Sattar was convicted in 2005 of conspiracy to kill and kidnap persons in a foreign country and for soliciting crimes of violence. Now, another of the suspects arrested yesterday was Muafak Askar. Like Odar, Askar was one of the untaxed cigarettes distributed, in this case with links to known terrorists. He was the confidant of Rashid Baz. That individual was the Lebanese immigrant who fired on a van full of Hasidic students on the Brooklyn Bridge in 1994, killing Ari Halberstam, 16-year-old Ari Halberstam. Baz, who was convicted and sentenced to 141 years, referred to Askar as his, quote, Palestinian uncle. Mohammed Saif is a sub-distributor in this case who sold untaxed cigarettes directly to bodegas and other small retailers. Saif was of interest to the NYPD because of previous intelligence reporting and because we believe that he lived for some time in the same three-story Brooklyn walk-up occupied by Nasser al-Khatib, who was the personal secretary to Musa Marzouk. Now, Marzouk was the de facto leader of Hamas in the 1980s and early 1990s, and a central fundraiser for the organization here in the United States. Marzouk was deported in 1997 and remains a top Hamas official in Egypt. So while it hasn't been established yet where the illicit proceeds in this case ended up, as the Attorney General said, we're concerned because similar schemes have been used in the past to help fund terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. Our federal partners continue to investigate the money trail. Meanwhile, we've arrested the principals in this massive scheme and the hemorrhaging of tax revenues that they've caused. We have a responsibility both to protect the taxpayers and to make certain that we are neither targeted nor exploited by terrorists. We couldn't have made this case without the dedication and the skill of people in this room and many others who could not be here. And again, my thanks to all of you. And now we're going to hear from Agent Scandifio. Agent.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Anthony Scandifio, the Deputy Special Agent in charge for ICE, Homeland Security Investigations in New York. Our primary mission is to defend America's borders from foreign nationals who desire to commit acts of violence and use illicit proceeds to finance those acts. We are proud to be a part of this case alongside the New York State Attorney General's Organized Crime Task Force and the New York City Police Department. It is our partnership that has flourished over the past 4 years and is evident today by the success of this investigation. This criminal organization allegedly engaged in the business of trafficking untaxed cigarettes and the laundering of more than $40 million in illegal profits. They did this by allegedly purchasing real property and businesses, assets throughout the United States. These illicit funds can then be used to further finance criminal activity that threatens our national security and the public safety of Americans home and abroad. HSI New York Special Agents assisted in the identification and seizure of multiple bank accounts used to launder the illicit cash proceeds. Additionally, agents monitored the bulk cash coming in and out of the country. This is one of the many things we do. This case serves as an example of how HSI's focus goes beyond the immigration enforcement. My thanks to all the agencies who worked on this case, from our own special agents, Andy Bora, Billy Harnett, Maria Marzan, to our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. My particular thanks to New York State Attorney General Echneiderman and the New York City Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly. Without their support, these charges and arrests would not be possible. Thank you.
Thank you.